Okay, let's get this underway. Hi, everyone. This is Country Music News International. My name's Nigel Sharpe, and I've got the pleasure of speaking to Julie Williams today. Hi, Julie. Um, I don't actually know where you are.
I am in Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay. I am near Frankfurt in Germany. Anyway, let's get to some music. So I was listening to Just Friends and I watched a video, and it's a lovely song, quite wistful sort of lyrics almost. And
Yeah.
I was quite fascinated by where that came from.
Yeah. Just Friends. I wrote it about a year ago with a buddy of mine named Melody Walker. And I was actually inspired to write it after listening to a song by a fellow country artist named Denisha. She has a song called Old Friend. And we were touring together with the Black Opry in the northeast of the US. And I was hearing her sing this song night after night about an old friend, reconnecting with an old friend. And it made me look back and think of some of the friendships in my life, especially some was just when I was a teen and becoming an adult, and I got to thinking of a friend of mine that I'm not friends with anymore. And when I look back at really what happened there, and why did that friendship ending almost feel like it was a breakup, and just kind of in this reflection of what happened, and knowing more about myself now and who I am, I wonder, right, like if we became friends now, would things have been different? And when I was writing it, and then when I was imagining the music video, um, I I just got to thinking of coming of age films, like summer coming of age films. I've always loved those shows, and for me, when I think of old memories in my head, I think that they say that some people, their minds are have words and some people have pictures. Mine can be like a movie, and especially my dreams too. And so I really wanted this song to feel like, and visually feel like you are in a movie, almost in my mind. So it is very wistful, very, very nostalgic. There's definitely this kind of yearning. And I hope that in listening to the song, at least when I listen to it, there's this feeling of sadness for younger me, of like, oh, she's trying so hard, but then also just this beauty in it of the journey of young love, like those times where those emotions feel so big, they feel so powerful, but they really are so important. Those loves and those people, no matter if they stayed, they're just so important in our history and in our personal story. And so I wanted to capture that.
Well, you did.
Thank you.
You were, you were eminently successful.
Oh, thank you. It is really special as a songwriter to be able to reflect on your life constantly. You're constantly trying to find inspiration in in moments in your life that some people might not think are that important or that many people care about, but often the best songs are found in those tiny moments that just capture what life is, and it's a lot of tiny little seemingly meaningless moments. Um, and so you're constantly reflecting on that as a songwriter, and so it's very cool to reflect on that with your friends, to say, hey, I'm writing this song about this period in my life. Do you remember, like, what do you remember from this time? This is what I remember. And even in bringing a song, and I've been so inspired by especially Just Friends since it's come out. There have been a lot of people from my past who have had similar journeys of discovering their identities that have related to this song. And to think, oh wow, we were going through some of the similar things at the same time, but we just had no idea. It's been really incredible to connect with people and to hear and share stories. And I think that's what I love about songwriting, and specifically story driven songwriting, because in writing, I find that the more specific I write a song about my life, more people relate to it in their own lives. which I think is pretty special.
Now, the new single, which is already available, Just Friends, is part of an EP called Tennessee Moon. And there's a little kind of picture of you in a very chic long blue dress in the middle of the night. Presumably, you are looking up, and I am assuming that you are looking up at the Tennessee Moon.
Yep, yep.
Is that a
That
is
is an
that a
accurate
thing?
assumption. It was just the sun had just set, and it was that beautiful time, right when the sun has set. There was just a tiny bit of light if you turned around the other way.
Yeah.
Um, but I had just always imagined something similar to that, when I wrote the song, and part of that is I'm looking up at the moon, but with the white, it also is that I could be the moon in that, I was your blue moon. So almost like the moon goddess who is the moon,
Right.
is kind of
That
the
hadn't occurred to me.
inspiration. Yeah, there's so much I
Yeah.
have loved kind of really diving in to the moon, the sun, the stars, all of that in creating all the visuals and the marketing for this EP. Like all of the songs that are coming out on supermoons, which are um, there are three supermoons in a row, um, that are these special full moons. So every single one has been part of the release has been paired with a different one.
Ooh,
Um, mhm.
that's
So
pretty
the next
smart.
moon is in September, and there might be another song that's coming with that too. And then the
Right.
EP will come out on that final supermoon,
Which is in October.
October 17th. Yep.
There we go. So, how many songs are on the EP in total?
There are 5 songs.
Five. So, we can expect at least one more before the main release,
Yep. Yep.
possibly two.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. One more before the project comes out, and then the whole thing in October.
Right. So, are you pretty excited about this?
I'm extremely excited. I have been working on these songs for a few years now, and I I really feel like I found my sound with this project. I
Mhm.
think when I first moved to Nashville, um, I well, to go back, I grew up listening to 90s country music. That's what my mom played in the car on the way to school, and I was always so driven to, especially women in country music and their storytelling. My mom also played a lot of folk. I mean, the Indigo Girls were one of my first concerts that I went to, and John Denver and Dan Fogelberg. Like that was really what my mom played a lot, and I was always just so inspired by it. But then kind of growing up in Florida in the 2000s time, there were a lot of women in country music specifically that like I was a huge fan of the Chicks and seeing what had happened with them. I kind of fell out of love with country for a bit. And so when I was kind of discovering my own artist identity, I was a bit nervous to dive into it until I got to Nashville and really met an incredible community of people who are trying to open up country music and change it for the better. And I dove headfirst back into this music that I've loved and grew up listening to. And so that was kind of my journey at first moving to Nashville. But I've always been such a fan of folk music as well, and have been so invigorated by the indie folk music that is coming out from a lot of young people like Lizzie McAlpine and Noah Kahan, and just seeing how it's energizing so many folks. And I'm like, that storytelling, it's so close to country music. Like y'all are just so close. So really this goal of this project was to really combine those loves. And I just really dove into a lot of like 90s folk and even just what's coming out now. And in writing these songs and discovering it, I really feel like I've found a sound that feels more me than ever before. So I'm really excited for people to get the chance to hear these songs that I've been listening to for the past year. So
Yeah.
excited.
Well, I'm looking forward to hearing them as well. So, on that note, I'm going to bring this to a close and say thank you again for taking the time to talk to us. And
Thank you. Thank
as I
you.
said at the beginning, for me, it's just lovely to speak to other musicians, other artists, and especially the talented ones like you.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank you so
so,
much.
and I'm going to be looking forward to listening to the EP
Yes.
when that comes
Check it out.
out.
Yes.
I've stuck myself down as a follower on Spotify,
Amazing.
so I shouldn't miss it,
Perfect.
knowing my appalling memory. I need these kind of little helpers. Okay, Julie, thanks again, and wish you all the best touring around with the new material. And I will wave a little goodbye.
Thank you so much for having me.
You take care. Bye.
Bye.